Subscribe now if you're brave enough to keep watching. The first body wasn't found in the forest. It was found on a front porch, barefoot, shaking, and staring at a door that refused to face the trees. When the paramedics arrived in Briar Hollow, they thought it was hypothermia. Daniel Reeves, 32, local carpenter, had been missing for 3 days. Search teams had combed the forest edge, calling his name into the thick pine shadows. No answer, no footprints, no torn fabric, nothing. And then, just before sunrise, he reappeared, not from the woods, but sitting on his own porch, facing the street like every other house in town. Every door in Briar Hollow faces away from the forest. It's an unspoken rule. The houses form a strange defensive ring, as if the entire town turned its back on the trees decades ago. Daniel kept whispering the same sentence. It doesn't like doors. His wife, Marla, said he wouldn't blink, wouldn't look toward the tree line. His fingernails were packed with soil, like he'd been digging, but there were no injuries, no signs of assault, just terror raw and animal carved into his face. By afternoon, he was gone again, this time from inside his locked bedroom. No broken windows, no forced entry, just an open back window that hadn't been opened before, the only window in the house that faced the forest. That was when people started talking about the old rule. Decades ago, before zoning laws and property lines, the town's founder built his cabin facing the trees. 3 nights later, it burned down. The second house faced the forest too. Its owner vanished. By the time the third house was built, the door faced the road, and it stayed that way. But Daniel had been renovating. He'd told his neighbors he wanted more light. He planned to install a side entrance facing the trees. He'd even framed it out, the doorway unfinished, yawning toward the forest like an invitation. Search crews went deeper this time, past the marked trails, past the old boundary stones. The forest in Briar Hollow is dense, unusually quiet. No birds, no wind through the canopy, just the subtle pressure being watched. They found Daniel's tools first. Hammer, level, measuring tape, laid out neatly in a clearing, as if someone had been building something. And then they found the doorway, standing alone between the trees. A wooden door frame, freshly built. No walls, no house, just a door, mounted upright in the soil, facing into the forest. It was slightly open, and when they finally forced themselves to step closer, they realized something was wrong. The hinges were on the outside, as if whatever was inside was meant to come out. They tore the doorframe down before sunset. At least, that's what Sheriff Halpern told the town meeting that night. He stood beneath the buzzing fluorescent lights of Briar Hollow's community hall, hands clasped too tightly, insisting it was a prank. Stress does strange things to people, he said. Daniel was building something symbolic. That's all, but no one missed the mud on his boots. And no one missed the way he avoided saying where the wood had gone, because the search team that found the doorway swore they never touched it. By morning, Daniel's unfinished side entrance had changed. The plywood that once covered the opening now hung crooked, splintered inward. Marla claimed she heard around 2:13 a.m. a slow, deliberate knock, not on the front door, on the wall facing the forest. 3 knocks, then silence. When deputies inspected the house, they found deep indentations pressed into the exterior siding. Not scratches, not claw marks, just pressure, as if something heavy had leaned there for hours. And at the edge of Daniel's property, where the grass met the first line of trees, the soil had been disturbed, in a straight line, leading from the forest to the new doorway. By noon, another person was missing. Eli Turner, one of the volunteer searchers. He had joked the loudest when they discovered the freestanding door. Said it looked like an art installation. Said Daniel probably lost his mind chasing town legends. Eli lived in one of the older homes built before the town adopted its facing-away rule. His house had been renovated decades ago, its original forest-facing door permanently sealed and replaced with a blank wall. When his wife came home from work, that wall was gone, not demolished. Gone. In its place stood a finished door. Fresh wood, brass handle, hinges on the outside. The door was slightly open. Inside the house, Furniture was untouched. Lights still on. Dinner half prepared on the stove. Eli's phone was found on the kitchen counter. The last voice memo recorded at 1:47 a.m. Breathing. Heavy. Panicked. Then his voice, barely a whisper. It's building them closer. The recording ends with the sound of wood creaking, not from inside the house, from the other side of the door. Sheriff Halpern ordered the forest sealed off that evening. Temporary fencing. Warning signs. Patrol cars parked along the perimeter road. But people began noticing something else. New rectangles appearing along their back walls. Faint outlines in the paint. Perfectly door-shaped. And every night, just after 2 a.m., 3 slow knocks echoed across Briar Hollow. Not loud, not violent, just patient, as if something was waiting for permission. And then the power went out across the entire town. When emergency lights flickered on, several residents were standing in their living rooms, staring at doors that hadn't been there the night before. All of them facing the forest, all of them slightly open. And from the darkness between the trees, something knocked back. By dawn, Briar Hollow no longer looked like a town that had turned its back on anything. It looked like a town that had been answered. Emergency generators hummed to the early morning fog, casting a cold, artificial glow across houses that now bore new entrances carved into their rear walls. Some doors were rough and splintered, others smooth and perfectly framed, as if installed by careful hands overnight. Every single one faced the forest, and every single one stood slightly open. Sheriff Halpern finally admitted what older residents had always known. Decades ago, before Briar Hollow was officially mapped, a logging crew had tried to clear deeper into the woods. They marked trees, set boundary stakes, and began cutting a path inward. On the third night, the crew packed up and left without explanation. Their tools were found arranged in a circle, handles pointing toward the tree line. The foreman wrote one final note in the town ledger. The forest does not want to be entered. It wants to be invited. That was when the houses were redesigned. Doors turned outward. Windows reinforced. A silent agreement passed down through generations, never built toward the trees. But Daniel had. And now, something was building back. By mid-morning, more people were missing. Not violently taken. Not dragged. Just gone. Beds undisturbed. Coffee mugs still warm. And in each home, the forest-facing door stood fully open. Marla refused to leave. She sat in her living room, staring at the new entrance in Daniel's unfinished renovation. The door was different now, no longer raw plywood. It was solid oak, polished, complete. At 2:13 a.m., the knocks came again. 3, slow, measured. But this time, the entire town heard something else. Knocking from the inside. Panic spread. Some families tried to board their doors shut. Others fled toward the highway. A few brave souls or desperate ones tried to close the forest doors. They wouldn't move. As if anchored to something deeper than foundations, Marla stepped forward when hers began to creak wider. She swore she could hear Daniel breathing on the other side, not calling for help, just breathing, calm, waiting. She whispered his name. The air shifted. From the forest, a line of doors stood between the trees now. Hundreds of them, freestanding, leading nowhere, or leading somewhere no one could see. And in the faint gray light, figures stood in each doorway. Not monsters, not shadows. People, still, silent, watching. Daniel was among them, facing outward, as if he now belonged to whatever had been invited in. By sunrise, Briar Hollow was empty. Highway patrol found abandoned cars, doors hanging open toward the trees. Weeks later, developers attempted to survey the land. They reported something unusual in the blueprints. Every new structure they drafted, no matter how they rotated it, automatically positioned its main entrance away from the forest, as if the land itself remembered. The area is now unincorporated territory. No one lives there. But hikers passing perimeter fence claim that sometimes, just after 2 a.m., they hear 3 slow knocks echoing from deep within the trees, followed by a door gently opening. If this story haunted you, the next one will keep you awake. Hit subscribe if you dare.